I'm Crystal. I'll be your student nurse today, and I'm going to do a neurological assessment, which is going to include testing your 12 cranial nerves and your reflexes. So first thing I'm going to do is pull the curtain for your privacy, come wash my hands. Do you feel safe and comfortable?
I do.
And are you okay with me touching you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. First thing I'm going to assess is your mental. So your name and date of birth, please.
Danielle Reed, January 11th, 1988.
And do you know who the president is?
Joe Biden.
Okay, and do you know where you are?
At your house.
Okay. So her speech is distinct and clear, and she is alert and oriented to person, place, and time. Next thing I'm going to do is move on to your cranial nerves. The first cranial nerve is the olfactory nerve, so I'm going to have you hold your one nostril and breathe in. Okay, and then I'm gonna have you switch sides and do the other one. All right, now I want you to close your eyes and hold one of your nostrils, and I'm gonna ask you, what do you smell?
Vicks.
And repeat.
Vicks.
Okay, so cranial 1 olfactory nerve is intact. Moving on to cranial nerve 2 is your optic nerve. So I'm gonna test your visual acuity. So I'm gonna have you stand up, and we have the Snellen chart over there. She's 20 feet away. Hold one eye. She would read down to the lowest line that she can. Alternate, do the same thing. And for this, she is a 20 out of 20 for both eyes. So that means her optic nerve number 2 is intact. Moving on to cranial nerves 3, 4, and 6, which is your ocular motor, trochlear, and abducens nerve. We're going to test the movement of your eyes with the 6 cardinal directions of gazing. So I just want you to follow my pen, no head, just eyes. So we're going to start here, 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 and here. There's no extraocular weakness noted, no stagnant noted. So cranial nerves 3, 4, and 6 are intact. Okay, so now we're moving on to cranial nerve 5, which is your trigeminal nerve. I'm gonna have you close your eyes, and I'm gonna touch you in a couple spots.
Left forehead. Left cheek. Left jaw. Right forehead. Right cheek. Right jaw.
So her facial sensations for cranial nerve number 5 are intact. Put that down. And now I'm going to test the strength of her jaw. So I'm going to have you, tighten it, and I'm going to try to pull down. Her strength in her jaw is a 5 out of 5. So again, trigeminal nerve is intact. Moving on to cranial nerve 7. The facial nerve. I'm going to have you smile. I'm going to have you frown. And then I'm going to have you raise your eyebrows. Okay. So then I want you to close your eyes as tight as you can. And I'm going to try to open them, and I can't. So her facial nerve is intact for cranial nerve 7. Cranial nerve 8, acoustic nerve. I'm going to have you hold your right ear. All right, and I'm gonna whisper something.
Flower.
Okay, and then we're gonna repeat the other side.
Chair.
Okay, so her acoustic nerve, when I whispered what she said, she was able to determine what I said, so that is intact. Moving on to cranial nerve 9, glossopharyngeal nerve. I'm just gonna have her swallow. And the glossopharyngeal nerve is intact. Cranial nerve 10 is the vagus nerve. So for this one, I'm gonna have you open your mouth and say ah.
Ah.
And her uvula rises with phonation, so your vagus nerve is intact. Okay, cranial nerve 11 is your spinal accessory nerve. So for this one, I am going to have you, oh wait, wrong one. All right, I'm going to put my hand on your cheek and have you push. And then we're gonna do the same for this side. Okay, and then I'm gonna put my hands here and I want you, good job. So that is good. So her spinal accessory nerve is intact because she was able to do that. And okay, next nerve is cranial nerve 11, 12. We did 11. So 12 is the hypoglossal nerve. I'm going to have you stick your tongue out.
Mm-hmm.
And there we go. So do it again. I'm sorry, the camera didn't see. So her tongue is, the tongue's protrusion is midline, so her hypoglossal nerve is intact. So moving on, we are going to test reflexes. So the first reflex we're gonna do is the triceps nerve. So I'm gonna have, her do like that. And we're gonna just tap there. All right. We're gonna repeat it for the other side. Relax. And we're gonna, okay. My little rattle. Okay, so her triceps reflex is 2+ bilateral on both sides. Now we're gonna do the biceps. So I'm gonna, I think the way it was in the video was like this. And then I'm gonna hit here. And then we're gonna repeat it for the other side. And so her biceps reflex is a 2+ bilateral. Now we're gonna do the brachiodalis reflex. So I'm gonna hold here and we're gonna give it a nice tap there. Ooh. You okay? Stop looking at it. We're gonna do it here. Okay, so her brachiodalis reflex, is 2+ bilateral for both sides. Moving on to the patellar. So now, we're gonna hang your legs and we're gonna, you can see it. And give it a whack there and a whack there. So the patellar reflex is a 2+ bilateral. Moving on to the Achilles tendon reflex. I'm gonna hold your, oh wait, can I see? Okay, yeah, maybe I should have moved the camera. But we're gonna hold the toes and we're gonna hit firmly back here. All right, and then same here. All right, so she's a 2+ for her Achilles tendon reflex. And now we're gonna go to the plantar. So we're gonna lift up the leg and we would just rub across here. And then we would rub across here. So she has a 2+ bilateral for her plantar reflex. Now we are going, that's it for the reflexes. We're gonna move on to coordination. So I'm gonna have you stand up. Excuse me. And I want you to close your eyes and hold both of your arms up, like that. And then I want you to touch your toes, touch your nose with both hands, And then I want you to go faster and faster and faster, okay? And so her finger to her nose test was smooth and coordinated movements, so she did good on that. Now I'm gonna have you sit. Normally we would do this supine. And we're gonna do the heel to shin test. So what I want you to do is take your foot, and put it up there and glide down. And then we're gonna repeat on the other side, glide down, perfect. So her movements for that were smooth and coordinated for the heel to shin test. Now is the Romberg test. So I'm gonna have you stand up again and hands at your side. And I want you to close your eyes and we're gonna wait about 20 seconds and we're just looking to see if she is going to sway. So we just keep counting 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Okay, so it's safe to say she didn't sway, so her Romberg test was negative. now we're going to be moving on to your motor testing. So I'm gonna have you, I'm gonna hold your hands and I want you to squeeze mine. Okay, so her strength for that was a 5 out of 5. Excuse me. The next one we're going to do is for the feet. So I'm gonna have you push up. Okay. And push up. So her dorsiflexion strength is 5 out of 5. And now we're gonna have you push down. Okay. And then again push down. So her plantar flexion is a 5 out of 5. So for your sensory testing, I'm going to have you feel dull and sharp objects. Where'd my little tester go? So I'm gonna have you close your eyes and I'm going to touch you and you tell me if it's dull or sharp.
Dull. Sharp. Sharp. Dull.
Okay, and then we're gonna move on down here.
Dull. Sharp. Sharp. Dull.
Okay, so for her sensory, she was able to tell the difference between dull and sharp objects bilaterally on her arms and legs. So with your eyes closed now, I'm going to do another sensory test. So what I will do is take your hand and I'm going to move your fingers and you tell me which direction.
Up, side, down.
Okay.
Up, down, side.
Okay, I'm going to repeat the same for her toes.
Up, down, side. Up, side, down.
Okay, so her she can sense the position of her fingers and toes as I move them in different positions bilaterally. So this will conclude our neurological assessment. Do you have any questions for me?
No.
Okay, were you comfortable throughout the exam?
I was.
Okay, here's your call light.
Thank you.
If you need anything, you can call us. Your belongings are on the table. I'm going to wash my hands, and that concludes our assessment.